What thought at the time when you were a candidate for that surgery? Were afraid? I don't know. What did they tell you?
It is dangerous and it can lead to even some little consequences.
Hace 2 años comenzó la cuenta regresiva para realizar el primer trasplante de cabeza en la historia de la humanidad. Un neurocirujano italiano llamado Sergio Canavaro propone realizar exitosamente la cirugía con una nueva técnica avanzada y hacer algo que nadie ha hecho. El paciente que se realizaría esto sería Valery Spiridonov, un hombre de 33 años con distrofia muscular espinal de origen ruso. Él ha estado en constante comunicación con el doctor Sergio Canavaro. Él explica todos los protocolos de investigación que llevan a cabo, como el proyecto Gemini, donde se trata de explicar y probar cómo es posible reparar lesiones medulares y trasplantar cabezas en modelos animales. Todo esto ha llevado muchos meses de preparación. Valery ha viajado por todo el mundo, se ha convertido en una celebridad después de este anuncio. Medios internacionales, televisión y documentales han surgido de este hecho. El mundo científico se encuentra en un gran debate. Se preguntan si es posible realizar este procedimiento. Hay grandes detractores como gente que lo apoya. Sin embargo, últimamente han cambiado las cosas, ya que los planes de esta cirugía por cuestiones económicas, legales y sociales no se han podido llevar como se planeaba. En diciembre de este año o a principios del próximo año se tiene planeado realizarla. Hoy por primera vez te traigo una entrevista que yo le hice a Valery directamente desde Rusia, y es la primera entrevista que da a un medio de Latinoamérica traducida al español, para que él nos cuente qué ocurrirá de ahora en adelante y cómo fue que surgió toda esta problemática, y qué fue lo que cambió. Así que acompáñame, yo soy el Dr. Vic y bienvenido a esta entrevista. Hola, bienvenidos amigos. Hoy estamos con mi amigo Valery Spiridonov, el primer hombre que se le va a trasplantar la cabeza. Iba a ser el primer hombre, nos va a explicar por qué ya no. Entonces acompáñenme a preguntarle algunas cosas y vamos a conocer su historia.
How are you, Valery?
Hey, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. And you?
It's good to see you here. My audience is intrigued about your life. Tell us about your childhood. How was your childhood?
Well, it was very interesting because we traveled a lot because of my father's job. So I had to adapt to new places, to new teachers almost every year. So adaptation became my everyday duty. So I've learned a lot from it, and I learned hard in school because I totally understood that in my condition, with my physical abilities, I would have to be really smart. I studied a lot. My parents helped me. My parents invited teachers of English, of informational technologies. So I'm very grateful for them for their attention to my needs, to my education.
How was your life when you were younger? How was when you get that diagnosis of spinal muscular atrophy?
I live with this diagnosis as long as I can remember myself. So my mother said that I was able to walk at the age of 1 year, but I cannot really remember this. And as long as I remember, I was a pretty weak child with weak muscles, with no ability to walk, with no ability to lift heavy objects.
Yes.
And it is getting harder to breathe, and the inner organs are squashed, so it's pretty hard, and it's sometimes painful to sit even.
Well, tell us more about your actual status. The media said that now is going to be a Chinese patient, right? Who is going to be the first one to get a head transplant. What are your thoughts about it?
Okay, let me explain. For the last couple of months, I had not talked to Canavaro.
Okay.
I do not know the latest news, and I'm pretty upset with this because my first feeling when I worked with him for the last 2 years.
2 years, right?
Okay. Yes, I thought that we were a team, and we were doing the same job with the same goal, because we both needed the surgery to become real. Yes, and I feel like kind of abandoned this couple of months because he had possibilities to work in some other places much earlier, and I know he had possibilities to get a real big money because people wanted to invest in his technology, and I know these people, and he knows what I'm talking about. And the problem is that the lack of organization skills from his side and his wishes to become, like superstar in medicine without having a good team communication, I believe it leads to failure, because I do not really believe that China is going to share this technology, even if it will succeed.
Okay.
So, as you can see, I was totally open for these 2 years. I've spoken a lot about the necessity of this procedure. I've spoken a lot about what good things it can bring to patients all around the world, to paraplegic, to other sick people. I am a true believer that this should be a real thing, and this is a new word in transplantology, and someday it will be real, absolutely. But what Canavero is doing, I cannot really understand why he does like this, because we could have opportunities to work a lot more efficient together.
Yes.
But this is his choice, and I do not blame him, because anyway, it let me possibility to be at the status what I am now. It let me create the group Desire for Life, where I try to unite scientists, people all around the world, just friends, and all the people who can bring some new technologies, some new thoughts to medicine, to better quality of living, and to even to some usage of robotics technology to support patients like me. So I'm pretty thankful to Canavero for this possibility, and I try to be again as much useful as I can. Yes. Because today we produce robots which lift heavy objects, which can bring your stuff with you in the airport or in the streets, or just from the shopping mall.
That is very interesting, right? Desireforlife.org is your association, your page, your website.
It's both. It's a blog. It's all stuff together. Yeah.
Can you tell me more about it, more in details? What is Desireforlife.org? More about.
Okay. We mostly work through social networks like Facebook or VK.com, but we try to unite scientists, Russian medics, and scientists from all over the world, from Germany, Switzerland, and even South Korea. So there are lots of people working together on medical technologies, sharing their thoughts, sharing their ideas. We have even some technologies which can assist Canavero to make these surgeries more safer. But when we try to offer this to him, he rejects all the offers, and I don't know why he does.
When did you get the offer from Canavero? When was the first time you both met? When was?
Okay. Let me remember. I first saw him on TV news. It was the year 2013. He was promising that this technology is going to become real soon, and I thought that it could be good to support his words, share the necessity of what he is doing, because I totally understood that he will be abstracted because of this very brave technology, and he wouldn't be accepted by the world. So I tried to contact him, and I emailed him pretty quickly after this TV show. I offered him my volunteership. And I knew the story of this question. I knew the experiments done by Professor Vladimir Demikhov with the dogs, two-headed dogs, if you remember.
Yeah.
And Dr. Robert White, the American surgeon who did the same kind of experiments with monkeys.
Monkeys, right? Yeah.
Yes, so I knew all the story about this kind of procedures behind the scenes.
You made your own research, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's great.
I did this 20 years ago, a lot of time before Canavera did this. So I was just waiting for a person who can do this, and Canavera appeared, and I thought that it was a great idea to support him. Yeah. Announced together in the spring of the year 2015, as I remember.
Yeah.
And we met in United States later that summer. Yeah.
What do you think about, as you know, the project Gemini? Gemini?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The spinal cord fusion. I know that has been proven in mice and monkeys. What are your thoughts in human beings? What do you think is going to happen?
Canavera tells that this was proved with mice, dogs, and monkeys, but of course we need to see more documents about this. It would be clever to film something like this and to show this to the public, but I believe that anyway this technology is just an evolution of transplantology. Nobody could believe that a heart could be transplanted for 70 years ago, maybe, yeah.
Right.
So, but today it's a common procedure.
What do you think about the future of people with disabilities? I don't know, like in 20 years, in 15 years, in 10 years. What do you think about it? You are very close to that topic in all your life.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to be?
I am happy that life of these people change a lot, and it happens constantly. It happens in almost all countries. Technology is going to continue to change life a lot because we have more access to cheaper robots, cheaper robotics, more clever electric wheelchairs, more comfortable wheelchairs, even some other devices which help to preserve dignity of a patient.
Of course.
More independent.
Are you still in touch with Canavaro? Or not at all?
I tried to contact him just before our interview, just to have some updates, to have some news maybe. But he told me that he is traveling and he cannot talk to me right now.
What are you doing for fun? Do you have any hobby?
Of course, I have lots of hobbies.
Tell me more about it.
Now, first of all, I have a girlfriend, and I'm very thankful for God. He gave me a new relationship where I can.
That's great.
Absolutely, yes. She's a very nice person. She's a beautiful woman. I love her a lot, and she's just great. So I try to spend as much time as I can with her. But when she's not near, I going out, traveling even, so meeting with friends, usual activity. But to be honest, I do not really have enough spare time because lots of projects require my attention. Yeah.
You're very busy yourself, right?
Absolutely. I believe that I'm a project manager of about 3 to 5 projects simultaneously.
Tell us about your special chair. You are using it. Who developed that technology?
It's comfortable because it's fully robotic. I can lean down, I can recline, I can lift for about 15 inch up. So when I lift up. I am even able to take something from higher tables, higher bar tables even. So the height is not a problem for me today. Okay. And it is very comfortable because it has even USB charger in it, so I can charge my phone. I can do lots of stuff. I can have sex in this. So,
really?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's so, interesting, man.
Here, yeah.
How much does it worth? It's like a lot of money. I don't know. I don't have any idea.
It's one of the best chairs in the market, and of course it worth money. But I try to develop my own chair because I know all the needs of people with this kind of disabilities, muscle atrophies, like mine, and I try to develop an affordable chair with autopilot.
Yeah.
And it will be a chair which can be guided by voice or with commands from a smartphone.
I know that you're an engineer, right? Yourself.
Exactly, yeah.
Where did you study engineering?
I studied mostly myself because when I was about 20 years, I had access to internet, and I decided that I can find all the knowledge of humanity,
of course,
assembled for years and centuries, just like with the click of mouse. So, like programming computers, creation software, simulation, and of course management. So I tried to educate myself as much as I could.
Tell me, when you were the candidate for that surgery, what was the preparation for that surgery? Did you have a special preparation for that? I don't know.
Okay. Let me explain. As soon as Canavero is working with Chinese, of course, I do not do any preparation right now.
Okay.
And he never told me to do any preparation because, as I understand, he wasn't sure till the last year, September, maybe, when and where he's going to do this process. Canavero is working with a company from United States, and they are mastering a virtual reality machine, which can allow a new patient to imagine his life with a new body, to imagine his life when he has ability to walk. I believe this is a very good psychological option to get used to a new body.
What does your family thought at the time when you were a candidate for that surgery? Were afraid? I don't know. What did they tell you?
Okay, so my family supports me because we try to be as much supportive to each other as we can. But of course, they are very concerned about the surgery because it is dangerous and it can lead to even some little consequences. But it is common in our family to support each other even if we are not agreeing with what he is doing.
Where do you think is going to be the first head transplant? I heard that it's going to be in China or Vietnam or Russia or, well, I don't know. Where is going to be right now?
Yeah, I believe that China is giving Canavero what he needs for this surgery.
Yeah.
They are giving him the laboratories in a city called Harbin.
Yeah.
And local surgeon, Dr. Ren Xiaoping, assists him. And Chinese laws are a lot more smoother and they allow experiments like this. But again, I do not really believe that China will later share this technology. I believe that China will try to become a place where rich people come to swap their bodies, because they are pretty closed in terms of technology, in terms of biotechnology, and I don't believe that Canavero has done a right option to work there.
Tell me more about your projects. Can we know what you are into right now? Like, what are your... I know there are secrets, I understand that, but can we know something about your projects?
Okay. One of my projects is... I will tell you things I can tell.
Okay.
Because I have written down a lot of non-disclosure agreements. Okay.
I know. I understand.
So one of them is a robot, a pretty funny robot for everyone. It is not very expensive. Everyone can afford it. Which carries your stuff for you. But is very assistive for people like me or any other people who do not want to carry heavy stuff around. So this robot carries your stuff.
Oh my God, I'm gonna need one.
Yeah, absolutely, no problem. It can carry up to 18 kilos with no problem. It can operate for about 5 to 6 hours, so we can walk pretty far. And it is a technology which will be available, I believe, the next couple of months on the market.
Oh, that's exciting. I want that. I want. How much is going to cost that robot? Like, I don't know. Like,
it costs about $500 for pre-order. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's a reasonable price.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's great.
It's even cheaper than some phones. Yeah.
What's next for Val? Well, I know that you're going to be on a different procedure, different surgery.
Today when I believe Canavero left me, I have to take care of myself.
Okay.
I have to take care of my condition, of my physical abilities myself, and of course I need this surgery to implant some steel rods to my back to support my spine, because as you can see, I'm hardly sitting straight because the gravity pushes my skeleton down, and my muscles are very weak, so my muscles cannot support my spine, and this leads to squashed inner organs, to hard breathing. So it makes life pretty hard. So I try to use donations to support the surgery, but mostly I try to fund it myself. Yeah. It's not fantastically expensive like Canavero's procedure. No, it's like regular surgery costs about $20,000.
20,000. Okay. I understand that you have a PayPal account.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna put it down here on the description box.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Would you like to give some advice to the people with disabilities in Latin America? You are such an inspiration for them.
Educate yourself. You have all the possibilities for this, because education from the internet is not expensive at all. It is free. Free for everyone. You can become whatever you want. You can do stuff which you like, even using your smartphone. You do not need expensive equipment to become a professional interpreter, designer, or a coder even. But it can change your life dramatically. You can have more independent life. So education is everything, and it is mostly free for us to be.
You are an engineer. You have your projects. You travel the world. That's awesome, man. That's great.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir. That's an inspiration, of course. Thank you very much for joining this interview, Val.
Thank you.
That was great. Really, it was awesome for my channel and for the people here in Mexico.
I hope one day we'll come to Mexico. I dream about this so much. Yeah.
You have to come here to Mexico. We have amazing beach. We have amazing party. We have amazing everything. how do you say in Russian? See you, my friends. How do you say that in Russian?
До свидания.
До свидания. До свидания. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. До свидания.
How's your Spanish? It's.
I believe your Russian is better than my Spanish.
Can you say gracias, amigos?
I'll try. Gracias, amigos.
Very good. That's great. Gracias, amigos. That's great.
Thank you. Gracias, amigos.
So, thank you for your time, Valerie. I hope we can keep in touch.
Absolutely, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and see you next time, my friend.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, my friend. Thank you for your time.